Nahor, you had a painful and tragic childhood. How did that affect you as a man?
When Abba took me to Rakhmu, it should have been obvious to me what was happening. He hid nothing and told me directly that he was leaving me with another man there, that I was to be his apprentice. But during our caravan journey, I kept telling myself, no, Abba won't actually leave me there, and even if he did, it will be just for a few days. I couldn't believe it when I found myself living there, with strangers. The man Asla seemed nice enough, and his wife Mashkuya was very tender and motherly, but they were unknown to me and were not my family. I was lost for quite some time, crushed that my own Abba would abandon me to a strange new city, and to people not of my blood. But in time, I did come to know those people as my family. Mashkuya certainly became a suitable replacement for my own Amma, and Asla proved to be a far better Abba than the one who sired me. Asla became to me Abba, teacher, friend, counselor, and confidant. Yet there was still a kind of dark void within me. As I progressed in the carving of stone, Asla's encouragement and praise gave me some sense of accomplishment that seemed to banish the darkness, at least for a brief moment. And I felt similar relief when others of note, artisans and architects, praised my work. But any sense of worth always vanished with the next morning's dawn. As I entered manhood, I met a brilliant young woman at my first career-related marzea. Her attention to me seemed to bring a new kind of brightness into my emptiness, but when she soon vanished from my life, the darkness was more stark than ever. I saw little reason to go on in life, and it would only become darker when Asla, the man who had become my Abba, was killed, when I needed him most. The next couple of years blurred as I rattled around inside myself, going from here to there, to the very ends of the earth. I chased something I was convinced would bring back my career, and the acceptance, the acclaim I craved. During that quest, I stumbled across an unexpected love. A love so tender, I should have known it would go a long way to filling my emptiness. Tenica was a rare and beautiful blossom to me, but I threw that love away to continue my insane pursuit of something which would never fill me. Leaving her on those docks at Musiri cut through my heart like a sharp dagger. After that, I made the greatest error of my life, trading my soul for secret knowledge. And then I discovered that what I had chased across the world had already been in my possession long before, but that I had also thrown it away. What a fool I was! My life rapidly sunk into the latrine from there. Yet another unexpected gift of love came into my life. My childhood friend Kainu, only to be snatched away by the grief of her father's betrayal. That shattered something inside me. Chaos reigned. I was no longer my own man or any kind of man, but hopelessly enslaved to something vile beyond imagination. There was no way out of the horror which gripped me.
Early in your quest, you befriended a sailor, maybe a pirate?
Yes, Zabibe. That was one of the high points in my journeys. At first I was a bit intimidated by that bear of a man, his enormous frame and gruff manner, but he soon showed himself to be tender-hearted and something of a philosopher. In time we became like brothers. We trusted each other with our lives and our inner secrets. When we arrived at the port of Musiri, I was astonished to discover that he kept a wonderful wife and family hid deep in the jungle. He insisted that I join him when he went to see them. Though I didn't want to distract his reunion with them, I finally relented. Being among his loving wife and children, I keenly felt my own lack of family and of love. The pain so overwhelmed me, I was forced to leave them and continue my quest. But I will never forget the man and how he took me under his wing.
Nahor, you've had 3 loves in your life, each one touched by some kind of darkness. This must be difficult to bear.
At times, it has been more than difficult, sometimes unbearable. But in one way or another, I have to recognize my own responsibility for much of that darkness. On my long voyage to the east, my life became entwined with that of the beautiful and accomplished young woman Tenica. Over many months, we came to trust each other, to find joy in each other, and even life and love in each other. Any sane man would have recognized the incredible gift before him and not looked elsewhere. But there was that dark hole inside me, nagging me to look for something else, something that was not attainable. In the end, I'm ashamed to say, I treated her heart as so much garbage. As soon as I left her, I cursed myself and began my attempts to harm myself by cutting my flesh. It has been a very long road to begin to forgive myself for such a horrible choice. In the matter of Kainu, I'd like to blame her father for such treachery, but again I must admit I had my own part to play. I knew of the man's vile character. How could a father make his own daughter his slave? I should not have trusted his promise and simply eloped with Kainu, but I have often been a victim of my own naivete. Unfortunately, others sometimes have paid the price as well. When my and her hopes for our future were destroyed, my life ended, or so I thought. And then, her senseless death on top of that. There was absolutely nothing left for me. I became less than a brute beast, destined to roam the earth in a living death. And finally, there is the matter of Margani, the song. My heart connected to hers in a profound way almost immediately, but the clumsy attempts of this ignorant young man failed to capture her heart, or so I thought, and then she began her own painful journey. But in the end, our second opportunity at finding love with each other has been an astounding treasure. Instead of dwelling in the dark adventures of our past, we choose daily to rejoice in what we now have. After both of us walked through the horrific consequences of our dangerous choices, we now marvel at the truly miraculous nature of how we came back together.